Everyone, it's Samantha from Scrapmaster's Paradise and welcome to week number 14 of Project Life. This week I took this Facebook screen cap here and I'm showing you how to do a screen cap on the phone. You just press the top button down at the same time you press the button at the very bottom and you'll see a white flash, and that means that your picture was taken of your screen. So I just took the picture of my screen. It was just a Facebook update from our vets page. They posted a picture of Bella and Maya on there, and I just wanted a record of that. So I took the screen cap and then I just made it into a 3x4 using PicFrame app, and I went ahead and printed a 4x4 of that same picture. I'm going to use that on a 12x12 layout coming up soon. So I realize I'm not zoomed out. I forgot to do that. I zoom back out in just a little bit, but I'm going to try not to do a lot of voiceovers. I'm using basically the same type of thing that I've been doing. I haven't really added many techniques. I just did that Facebook thing. This whole page is of our vet adventures. We always split it up into 2 separate days because there's just no way I'm going to take 4 dogs to the vet at the same time, and it's nice to just take 2 and then have a day to recuperate from the ordeal because they are pretty crazy at the vet. Anyway, so for my first 2 pages of this layout, I'm keeping the color scheme pretty monochromatic. I'm just basically using aquas and a couple of neutrals and accent colors, but the overall pages are aqua, and that's just because you guys requested some monochromatic pages, so this is my attempt to do that. Now I'm just using my roller date stamp, and I grabbed a piece of scrap paper to make sure that I was getting a good impression with that. I'm just putting the weekdays on here. And for this card, I decided to kind of highlight the top things that happened this week. We went to the vet, and then I'm putting, we had pretzels. I had made homemade pretzels, and then I also put our walk at the lake. And I'm using this card kind of as a week in review card. Next, I just did some journaling on this card, and then I'm going to put A-OK as an accent. I had one of these cork circles from the Office Hours Project Life kit, which was Studio Calico kits last month, and then I'm going to add an A in front of it. So I'm just looking through various alphabet sets, and I end up using one from the Scrapbook kit from April Studio Calico. And I'm having trouble with these voiceovers. I record like a minute-long clip and then it only shows like the first 18 seconds of the clip and cuts me off. So I think I'm going to mostly just play music the rest of the time, but if there's some sort of technique or something specific that I need to talk about, I will put a voiceover in for that. And of course, if you have questions about anything I do, just leave me a comment below and I'll do my best to kind of explain or answer your question. And this was my page protector from last week, and I'm putting this on the back side of that Design A page. I needed more aqua, so I went to the Fifth and Frolic Edition Core Kit. This is one that I think is a Michaels exclusive. I stopped my video because my husband was done getting ready in the morning and he was going to go to work, so I was going to stop and talk to him for a bit. And then I forgot to hit record when I came back, so I went ahead and stamped the triangle shape and the UR shape. And then I just trimmed it out with my cutter bee scissors, and then I'm going to stamp underneath it "So Loved," so it'll say "You are so loved," and it's just a picture of Maya on here. I'm just cutting around so that it still has that rounded corner at the top. I didn't want three corners to be rounded and then only one corner not to be rounded. Since this was such a pretty card and only a tiny bit of it was going to show anyway, I decided to cut it in half so I could use it for a different card in the future. Most of the supplies I'm using today are coming from that April Project Life kit from Studio Calico, but I am mixing in some past kit stuff and some other odds and ends here and there. And most of the things I've talked about multiple times in previous process videos, so you probably know where everything comes from. These are Studio Calico wood grain enamel dots. This is that same sheet of label printables that I used in a past video. I designed these and they are available in the SP Digi shop. I'll have a supply list at the blog, so I'll have a link for that below. But I would ordinarily just cut these out using the print and cut on the Silhouette Cameo, but I printed these on my regular printer, so I'm just hand cutting them. As I'm putting all these cards in this page protector, I noticed that top right one is sliding out, so I'm going to have to do something. It's because of this big giant flare, and the flare is metal backed, and then they have a giant foam adhesive on the back, so I just used my ATG to make that more flat, and it worked. I decided to cut this cloud 4x6 into two, and then I could use it next to both of these 4x4 photos. I'm just doing my cheater method to connect those together. So for the last couple of weeks of taking pictures for Project Life, I've tried to take more pictures of my husband and I together. We don't have a lot of pictures of us together besides just our wedding photos and when we got our photos taken last December. So I'm really trying to get one photo a week of us just together, and usually it ends up being how they normally are, where we have one really nice one and then a bunch of really goofy ones, because that's just my husband's personality. He's always goofing, he's always cracking jokes, he's always doing something funny, so it just captures his personality so well when we have all these goofy photos besides our kind of serious happy photos. Now, one of the most exciting things that happened this week was we made soft pretzels. My husband ended up helping just a little bit, but he had this idea. He wanted me to make them because I do cook and I do a lot of baking, but I don't do hardly anything with bread. But I've talked about wanting to make homemade bread for so long. He even bought me a recipe book at Christmas, and I have yet to attempt making homemade bread. So this time he was really serious. He sat me down and he's like, I really want you to try this because I know you can do it. And so with his confidence boost, I ended up making the pretzels and he helped me roll them out and shape them at the end. And we had such a good time, and I absolutely loved the pretzels. They turned out great, and the whole week lately we've been talking about these pretzels, and it definitely sparked something in me. Now I want to make tons of bread, and I have lots of lofty ideas for bread making now. Anyway, so for this layout, there are only a few pictures. I decided to just do the top part of the page, and I'm going to have my week number 15 fill up the bottom of this page. I didn't want to do half an insert or anything. I just went ahead and kept with my design A, and my weeks are kind of flow together starting next week, which is totally okay. And that is it. I am going to leave the rest of this blank, and I'm just going to carry over my next week on here. To me, it really doesn't matter if the weeks are completely divided. So this one will be part of week number 14 mixed with week number 15 when it's all done. And I'm okay with that because nobody's going to go back and look at my album and care that the weeks are divided out, you know, perfectly. So I'm going to just go with it. That's how my pictures ended up being. So I'm going to work with what my pictures decide for me. And I really liked this Happiness is Homemade to go with the pretzels. I was really proud of making those pretzels. So week number 15 will start here at the bottom. I'll show you my whole layout. Now this is my first page here. Go through it. And then my next page. Then the back side. All these are lake photos. And then the last piece right here. So that is all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. I will try to shoot for week number 15 being next Thursday, and I'll have lots of blog posts and projects in between now and then. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you get all of my videos, and don't forget to check out my blog daily for projects and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!